Hi guys, Steve here, and today I'm going to show you how to place and align objects in your Clan Dojo. They don't make it easy for us, but I'm going to show you some tips I picked up along the way as I was building mine. I've already placed 3 bow stands, so I'm going to show you how I did it by placing a 4th. It was tricky because each of them had to be aligned up with the surrounding columns, but be also aligned up with each other. Okay, first you select the bow you want. As you can see, when you get it, it's facing in the wrong direction. So the first thing you need to do is make sure it's facing the right way. To do this, you move it so it's on the wall. Then hold down shift and turn it until it's perfectly lined up with the floor. When it is parallel to the floor, you can then put it into position. What you need to do now is lower the sensitivity setting on your mouse so it's on the lowest setting. This will give you more accurate positioning. Keep shift held down so it snaps to point. Then position the bell cord with the central line of the column. Then move the object forward until you're able to place it. This will be your starting position. From here I want to move mine 8 places forward. You need a really steady hand, and sometimes it might jump out of place, but a lower mouse speed and holding shift will help. And then when you reach a correct distance out, you place it. As you've done all the others in the same way, they all should be aligned up. And that's how I did the bell stands. Next I'm going to show you how to place banners either side of these columns. I'll just get a banner. These are pretty easy to place. Again, hold down shift so it snaps to point. Then turn it till it's vertical with a column. Then position it in its central groove. There's 3 points you can measure it from: the banner's connecting bracket, the top of a flagpole, or the bottom of the flag. On this one I'm going to use a little notch on the side of a column, then move the banner up until the bottom's aligned with it. And there we go. Check it's okay. And then you repeat the process for the other side. Hold down shift again to rotate it. I can't see the bottom of the flag from this position, so I'm going to have to move. Make sure it's in the central groove. There you go, the bottom's lined up. I'll just check it's vertical. Yes it is. Give it a final check. Yep, that's fine. Both banners are the same height. Now I'm going to show you how to place a flag, but first, how not to. If you come up here with the flag as it is, it's going to be virtually impossible to line it up parallel to the back wall. You can't tell if it's at a right angle, so I'm going to delete it. So what you need to do is make sure it's facing in the right direction before you position it. Place it on the side of a column or a wall. Hold down shift again to snap to point, then rotate it so it's pointing vertical. Yep, that's fine, so I'll enlarge it. Now because you've done that, you already have the flag pointing in the right direction. Next, position it to the central banister. Hold shift and then slowly bring it out to where you want it. If it jumps to the side, just move it back into position. Then do a quick check to make sure it's in the right place. And it's perfectly positioned for when you walk into this room. Next we're going to do the side door statues. Pick the statue you want. This time we're going to use the lines on the floor to make sure the statue is lined up correctly. Hold shift again, and then rotate it until it's parallel with the lines. Drag the statue over them to double check, then enlarge it. Put the mouse sensitivity down to its lowest setting again. Hold shift, then bring the statue slowly forward until you can place it. Then move it sideways until it's as close as you can get it. And just double check. And there you go. And then you just repeat the process again for the other side. Hold shift and align it up with the floor lines. Double check and then enlarge it. Then move it into the wall and slowly bring it out until it clears it. And there you go. Yep, they look fine. Now I'm going to show you how to position this object in the centre of the podium. You won't be able to use shift this time to snap to point, otherwise it will throw it off centre. So instead, you're going to have to do it by eye. First of all, reduce the object so you can use a podium circle as a reference. With the overhead view looking down, you should be able to work out where the centre is and position the object correctly. And then when it's in the right position, enlarge it and place it. There you go, perfectly in the centre. And finally, onto the hardest alignment I had to do. All these side drums are different sizes, different positions and at an angle. It took about 2 hours to work out how to place them correctly and get them to look right, so I'm going to save you some time and show the two methods I used. I've got the two end drums to put on yet, so I'll just get the one for the right. Right, the first method is, you hold down shift and then slowly rotate it a set number of times. I think all the drums on this side were rotated 8 clicks. If you stand at the front here, you'll be able to get the distance between each drum correct, but you're never going to get the depth of the placing aligned with the rest of them, even if you hold down shift and slowly move the drum to the right. From this angle you can't tell if the drum's too far forward or too far back. So what you need to do is stand so you can see the drum side on. Hold down shift and then slowly pull the drum towards you. On this part you're going to have to guess, because there's no way to judge distance between each drum. That looks about right. It's a tad far out, but it will do. This was about the 20th attempt, and this was the closest I got it. Okay, now for the left one. Okay, on this one, stand in front of a drum that's already placed, hold down shift and then rotate the drum. Because you're in front of it, you should be able to see if the lines of the bass are aligned. Next, stand sideways on, hold down shift again and slowly pull the drum towards you. Then when you think it's right, place it. Yeah, that matches the other one. And that's how I managed to align the objects. Thanks for watching, and if it was helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll bring you more in the future. Goodbye.